Well, thank you so much for joining our show. Always good to chat to you. Paul Dobson, our executive editor for Asian markets. Well, Gulf economies could face their worst slump since the early 1990s if the Iran war drags on, with some forecasts warning of sharp contractions should disruptions to the Strait of Hormuz persist. Despite the broader economic risks, rating agencies say the region's banking systems remain relatively resilient for now, supported by strong capital, liquidity buffers, and the expectation of sovereign support. Joining us now to discuss is Redmond Ramsdale, head of Middle East Bank Ratings and Islamic Banking at Fitch Ratings. Good to have you with us. Let's just start with a snapshot of how the GCC banks that you look at were doing before this war kicked off. Just paint a picture for us in terms of their capital position and liquidity.
Yeah, thanks, Joanna, and good morning. Yeah, I mean, coming into this conflict, the Gulf banking systems were in a very strong position, very strong non-oil growth, very strong loan growth, capital profitability, very strong positions. Again, asset quality, probably the best we've seen in a very long time. So coming into the conflict, very much in a position of strength.
What are the main avenues of risk to the banks the longer the war persists? What are you watching out for?
Yeah, no, very good question. I mean, look, our base case is still predicated on a relatively short regional conflict. And under that scenario, the banks face few immediate credit risks. The starting point for us, at least, is out of the nearly 60 GCC banks that we rate, over 85% of those are driven by sovereign support. And we believe that GCC sovereigns generally have sufficient headroom to withstand a short regional conflict. But, you know, we've got to see whether anything, you know, escalates significantly. Certainly a short regional conflict, the headroom is there. And for instance, Qatar was affirmed on Friday at AA stable.
Can I just ask you to define what you mean by short? I mean, it's been going on for 2 weeks now. If all in all, let's say the war ends in a month, so another 2 weeks, does that fit your time frame?
Our time frame, our base case was based on about 4 weeks to start. And obviously, as you said, we're now a couple in. It looks at lots of different things, you know, escalation, particular sort of damage to major infrastructure and things like that we've seen, you know, that we haven't seen so far. I mean, for banks,
Good morning. This is Horizon's Middle East and Africa, our top stories this morning. President Trump is urging other countries to help secure the vital Strait of Hormuz, calling out China in particular. He throws a summit with Xi Jinping into question. Oil markets remain on edge as traders assess the flow of crude after the U.S. struck military sites on Iran's Karg Island. Plus, Iran remains defiant. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says Tehran has not sought talks or a ceasefire after Trump told NBC he's willing to make a deal, but wants better terms. It's just gone 9:30 a.m. across the Emirates. I'm Giovanna Versace in Dubai, still very much in the thick of the war. Day 17 now for the since the war started, and some big developments over the course of the weekend. We were just discussing the first half of the show, those U.S. strikes on Karg Island targeting military infrastructure, but of course raises the stakes. This as the Trump administration are doing what they can to try to force the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz by building up a coalition of partners. And Iran continues to retaliate on Israel and Gulf states' key infrastructure. Now, in terms of the market reaction today, Asia Pacific, slightly more cautious. We're going to get into that in just a moment, down 0.2%, but not a major drawback. I've got to say, drawdown there. And so we are seeing Some upbeat news come out of China's economy. Again, something to unpack in the next 15, 20 minutes. We'll get into that on our show. As for S&P futures, leaning towards positive, up 0.5%. Big week in terms of central bank. We've got the Fed on Wednesday. Let's see whether they change the tone and sound slightly more hawkish given the commodity price shock that we've had since this war began, especially in the price of oil. Brent, speaking of oil, just shy of $105 now, up 1.8% on the session, as we continue to talk about the physical supply hit that is taking place right now in this part of the world and the knock-on effect that it's having on buyers all over, particularly in Asia, where some key countries, including China, have been forced to make some adjustments in terms of their own export activities from refineries. And then the USD slipping a little bit today in trade, down 0.2%, but still up more than 2% since the war began, and actually one of the best defensive assets out there. If you look at the complete picture, say, versus how U.S. Treasuries have performed, they've moved higher in line with inflation, gold and silver underperforming since the war started. And then switching over to the point about S&P, we are sitting on a key technical level here, around 200 days, a moving average. Let's see whether this key support level actually holds or whether it breaks to the downside. Magnificent 7, if you do a deeper dive specifically on that basket, is technically in correction territory. So from market insights, let's go across to Bloomberg executive editor for Asian markets, Paul Dobson. Let's start with the here and the now, Paul. Cautious. Thank you, Bloomberg's Onur Ant and Patrick Sykes, for joining us this morning with the latest developments from the weekend. Now let's turn to markets. U.S. and European stock futures gaining this morning as crude oil paired and early. For joining us this morning is the energy shock that it's causing right now in the world. How would you describe this moment in history vis-a-vis other energy shocks that we've seen in the past?
Well, the only reference I have is 1973, obviously, where 7 or 8% of total oil and gas production was cut off from the West. So if we look at today, it's almost 20%. So that's more than the double of what we have seen in 1973. I think markets today are not pricing adequately the length of the current war, because as long as it lasts 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks maximum, it's still recoverable. But if it lasts longer, and this is what happened in 1973, the pain in 1973 is not only the 7 or 8%, it's the length of the blockade that happened back then. If this extends over several months, then yes, this can have devastating effects on financial markets, I think.
Why do you think the S&P has been relatively resilient compared to European and Asian markets here?
So the S&P 500, if you graph it against oil prices, inverse, if you look at the inverse correlation between the two, they've been working literally in lockstep. Now let's look at oil prices. If you look at oil futures, because this is what everyone looks at, oil futures today do not reflect where oil prices are, because today there are a few tankers passing through the Strait of Hormuz every day or two, and mostly going to China. The actual oil price is around $140, and users of Bloomberg can actually use their terminal to see that FS DUMO index and then go, and they can see the fair value, the actual price at which oil is trading. So futures today do not really reflect where oil is and the stress that we're witnessing on oil. And because S&P is moving in lockstep with oil prices, this is why S&P has been relatively resilient, though tech is down 10% from the highs.
Ryan, for as long as I've been speaking to you, you've been a gold bull. And I'm curious to see your thoughts on the lack of performance of gold since the war broke out. And also, silver is down almost 10%, I think, since the start of the war. What's going on there? Why is it not acting as you would expect it to behave in a time of geopolitical crisis?
Well, we are not in a geopolitical crisis. We are in a war, literally in a massive war happening here in the Middle East that has the potential of expanding further out. So we have other shipping lanes that can be closed here in the Middle East. So this could have really much bigger proportions. Now, when this happens, people tend to run to cash. And this is why the US dollar has been an outperformer, because people have they want to hold cash. Cash is king in these situations. So we dump assets and we hold cash. All bets are off. We are in a BCP mode from a financial market perspective. And this is why you see gold, like many other assets, are underperforming, or they lack performance, if you will. And US dollar is the winner in this. And this is exactly what we're doing. We're sitting on the sidelines, we're waiting, and we're holding on cash.
Yeah, would you hold the USD here? Yeah, to your point, the dollar actually has done quite well in the last couple of weeks.
Well, it's more Swiss franc for us than US dollar. Would be much more comfortable in the Swiss franc because we believe that US dollar could exhibit some very high volatility. If the situation gets resolved very quickly, yes, we can see US dollar weakness again. If it continues for much longer, we can see more strength. So for us, it's much safer to hold Swiss francs than US dollar.
And let me just round things up. On a typical week, we probably would have started off our discussion around this, but we've got the Fed meeting coming up on Wednesday. What are you expecting to hear from them? And is it going to be the case that the hawks will be back in the driving seat?
Oh, 100%, because when you have an oil shock, it's a diffusion problem. Oil shocks generally feed into direct inflation. We've seen this before, and this is what will happen today. So the diffusion is happening. Consumers are starting to feel it at the pumps. This dries up liquidity, and this will have an effect on financial markets. So the potential return of inflation will definitely bring back hawks, and I do not foresee any cuts. And I'm starting to potentially think of hikes even.
Okay, well, we'll leave it on that cliffhanger. Ryan, we'll save that for the next conversation. Ryan Lamond, Neovision Wealth Management CEO and co-founder. Well, coming up, oil markets are set for a tumultuous week.
Resolve the problem. It came to a more diplomatic solution. So we are hearing also some entreaties from some energy buyers who are asking the Iranians to let their ships pass through. We did see over the weekend 2 LPG tankers that were taking that vital cooking oil and chemical feedstock to India. So we have seen some of the countries trying to discuss letting their vessels through. The Iranians have let some of their own crude vessels through, those most likely going to China. So it's really up to the Iranians at the moment, because they are the ones that are putting the threat on the Strait of Hormuz. It would take a major military engagement really to ease that up and to make that really secure, because it's enough to have the threat, as we see from the moment. It's enough to have the threat. It's enough to bomb a few vessels and set an example to show that it can be done for that waterway to effectively be closed. And that's the situation that we're in right now, choking off so much of that oil flow, Bonnie.
So, Anthony, the U.S. strikes on cargo.
Damage on oil infrastructure and on the global oil industry, for them, this continues to climb. It's above 800 now, per the latest figures released. But what we do know is that there have been several attempts from...
And a summit with the Chinese president. That's next. This is Bloomberg.
Yo. Looking different, eh? What does that mean? What's good? What's good? We're live. About to get started here. Was just looking at some news there. So you guys, if you're listening, you maybe heard of just the things. Maybe some questions some of you guys had could have got answered there. Like with gold, if you were listening to what that guy was saying about gold and stuff. How he said, like, in wars, when she asked that question about gold and how it's been underperforming since the war broke out, and he talked about how in times like this people rather have cash more on the side, keep things on the side and just see how things play out, see how things go. That's why, like, gold, other assets have been underperforming more than expected with this war going on. You might have heard that little bit there. Hopefully you guys are paying attention, listening, because I played all that stuff for a reason. I played every little part for a reason. All right, coming into this session. All right, so we're not going to talk about all that stuff. All right, played all that stuff for a reason. All right, so hopefully y'all were listening. There was some interesting stuff said there about the dollar. Guy said some stuff about FOMC this week too. The oil situation. And then you heard how that lady was talking about how Trump is kind of like asking other countries for help, trying to form like an alliance with other countries to maybe help out with that Strait of Hormuz situation, because nobody really wants to go through it, I'm assuming. Yeah, not a single country has agreed to help Trump so far. So yeah, it's interesting. That's an interesting situation. After Trump helped and the public, no country has publicly agreed to send more. I think China said no. Japan, never mind. Japan officially rejects Trump requests and will not send naval ships. Yeah, like we already saw, a couple ships went through there. There was that one the other day that got hit. So yeah, like, and yeah, he fired some tweets too the other day. Like, if you guys saw them tweets he said the other day. Gold, I called it a trade on gold. That's it. We're done for the week. That's the only trade we're looking at this week. Done for the week. 1-0 this week. We'll be back next week, folks, with another trade. 100% win rate this week, guys. We're done. That's it. That's it. Done for the week right there. Yo, Trump's been firing off about a bunch of different things. What's this all about? The building. I'm not even gonna read that one. Very bad. Yeah, Trump. He's Trump. The countries that get oil should keep the Strait of Hormuz open, not the U.S. We will help them a lot. They'll get all the oil. So we don't get any of the Strait, so they should participate. Talks about ways of how to open it. That's why your gas price is probably going up. You see, like, the freaking gas price is going up. Israel says it's now intensifying strikes on Iran. This is from 8 hours ago. Like, I'm still scrolling. This is from 8 hours ago. Not even like over the whole weekend. This is just from like 8 hours ago. There's like some big words being said from both sides. Like, you've heard what the president of the United States has said. Certain death. The sentences, the words being said. Yeah, he's been calling on like everyone to fight and take back that Strait of Hormuz situation there. Once again. So he's been last, like, over this weekend when the market closed, going into the weekend. He's been asking countries to step in to go through there. A lot of different, look here, this is just like main events by end of March 15th, by the end of the day, 16th day of the war. More ongoing strikes, Gulf countries, you know, between Iran, Israel, and Gulf countries, and Persian Gulf countries, Lebanon, Iraq, U.S. facilities. Oops. And Iran and Israel, southern Lebanon, Iraq. Yeah, still ongoing. Day 16, day 17. They're saying day 17. They're saying here on Bloomberg. Some good stuff. I like to see here sometimes, look at some of the news. They're about to talk about like China's threat on Trump, or Trump's threat on China in a little bit here. One or the other kind of here. I want to see what they were saying about this. Trump threatens President Xi. Visible tanker traffic in Strait of Hormuz at near zero. There you go. Visible tanker traffic based on 24-hour rolling 30-minute updates. There's an index that tracks. This is an index. TKCD index. Almost at zero. So visible train east to west, west to east. Bidirectional too. Talking about this right here.
Of China's overall energy consumption. So if Iran has already said that the Strait of Hormuz is only going to be closed to enemy ships, meaning that Chinese ships may be able to pass through safely, then why should China commit to sending warships to the region? So it's not clear whether China will accede to this request, but certainly we're a couple of weeks away from that Trump-Xi summit. A lot of things could change. We will be monitoring to see if there would be any face-saving gestures from both sides to keep that
Anyone
summit
catch that gold trade?
April.
Right, and of course, you know, there's preparations ongoing already at the weekend, but also, you know, starting again today, prepping for the summit as if it is going to go ahead. What should we expect, assuming it does go ahead?
When's the summit?
So yesterday, the trade envoys from both sides already met for about 6 hours. They did not speak to the media after that, but we are hearing from Reuters, and this is based on their sources, that the meetings were candid and constructive, and it seems like China has been showing some signs of goodwill, saying it is open to buy more agricultural products from the U.S. beyond the soybean purchases that they previously pledged. So that includes things like poultry, beef, non-soybean row crops, for example. The U.S. has been also pressuring China to buy more U.S. oil and gas. So in this case, this is where the U.S. perhaps emerges a winner in the Iran war. They are the largest exporter of LNG. So that's another issue on the table. We're hearing from Reuters as well that the two sides are looking at the creation of technical talks, a so-called Board of Investment and Board of Trade. And these two mechanisms will allow both sides to meet to identify specific sectors and products where both sides can increase trade to rebalance that trade relationship. And the Board of Investment would review and address discretionary investment issues. And this is coming as China has been keen to put more money into the U.S., but in the last few years, they have been facing a lot of restrictions on investment, a lot of scrutiny from the CFIUS committee, and perhaps this talk could maybe pave the way for both sides to mutually invest in each other's countries.
All right, Min Min, thank you so much. That is Min Min Low there. Plenty more coming up. This is Bloomberg.
There's some news. I like to you know, get some context of things. China, U.S. Yeah, we got all right. Anyone catch the gold trade? I sent the gold trade out not long ago, like some hours ago in the night. Was a solid entry. Hopefully you guys caught it. That thing already moved. Hit all the targets. And yeah, gold has been weaker in this March month. You heard what that one guy said. If you're paying attention, if you're listening. I don't catch the gold trade. I don't catch that gold trade. Sent a gold trade out hours ago. Hours ago. Where was that thing out? Where was I? Sent a telegram. Sent in the Discord. What time was that at? 11:30 last night. Well, 11 o'clock last night. A little bit after 11 o'clock last night. Hopefully you guys caught it. I sent it in Telegram too. Send it out to everyone. That was a good signal. That was a solid entry. That thing pumped. That 15-minute candle just came in, went. Solid move, solid move, solid move. And this thing just flew up. Solid entry, $5,000, around that $5,000 area. Yeah, we'll talk about some things. Gold might try to pull back, like it's been bearish. We're at like a low point, like the 4-hour. The 4-hour ejected like a bit ago here. Next candle like wick down. Key level, $5,000. We talk about this all the time. Hopefully some of you guys that are on the stream caught the trade. I sent it out some hours ago. I know I just popped up. Thought I'd pop up London session, check out the market, see what things are doing. Go over some updates. I mean, yeah, gold has been underperforming, or maybe just not as expected. I wouldn't say underperforming in the sense of look where gold is. It has been performing for months, right? In the sense of right now, yeah, some underperformance. I would say since the start of the war, yeah. From expectancy, but you heard what that guy said. Like I played some parts on Bloomberg, so you guys could get some context, different information of things, right? And there was that one part I played where that guy was talking about, you know, where was that? I forget exactly where it is. This guy here, right? He was saying, you know, in like right now, markets usually in wars, like people like more cash, so it makes sense. Like if you listen to what he said, kind of makes sense then when you look at, you know, gold's dropping. There's been stocks that have been dropping too. So people wanting more cash. People like feeling safer right now at this moment, like having cash on the side, cash there in case this or in case that this goes down, assets drop, right? That's like that reaction market's been having more so since the start of the war. Other than like crypto, really, like Bitcoin actually is like been going up since the start of the war. We actually look at like Bitcoin since US attacked Iran has been pushing up. Whereas like silver, gold, S&P 500 went down, stocks went down. So yeah, since the start of the war, 16 days ago, 2.4 trillion erased from US stocks, 2.5 trillion wiped out of gold and silver. So all that's cash going on the side. It looks like probably some of it went into crypto. Ethereum broke above $2,200. That's a key level we've been talking about on these sessions as well. If you've been in the sessions, 2,200 is a key level we've been talking about. If it breaks above that level, meanwhile, Bitcoin is up. Like Bitcoin's up right now. What, we hit 74 today, I think. Bitcoin added 240 billion. Crypto market went up like 10%. A bit more now, actually, because this is like a bit more. Actually, a bit more now with current prices. This is not normal because usually in times of uncertainty, risk assets like Bitcoin crash the hardest while precious metals rally. But here we are seeing the opposite. But here But here we are seeing the opposite here. That sentence. But here we are seeing the opposite here. That's why I was like, what? Here we are seeing the opposite. We are seeing the opposite here. But here, how many different ways could you say that? That's how you know I've been recording videos. That's how you know I've been recording videos. There's too many here's there, man. We don't need that many here's. So that's interesting. Bitcoin, precious metals, down. Crypto doing a little bit of recovery, like maybe as expected. I mean, it has been dropping for like the entire months that gold has been rallying. You know, all in here where gold made its all-time high, Bitcoin dumped. You know, we're in the period that gold was finding new all-time highs. In that period, starting here, actually, literally that. If we go, that's August and September. Bitcoin makes all-time high. Gold starts rallying to new all-time highs really, really fast. Interesting, right? Yo, like eventually, imagine we get, like when we get the Bitcoin rally, we'll be pretty much trading that like how we traded gold. When Bitcoin rallies, it'll be like pretty much like how we were trading gold. When an uptrend, like there was massive opportunities to trade like Bitcoin in here when it was just rallying. My radar suspects we're gonna go into that. Like my radar suspects 2027 is gonna be a good year for crypto, or even like going into it. Gold's super high. If we go back to 1979, 1980. That's a lot, you know. The in the late 70s, there was a similar war and geopolitical conflict that happened. That's similar to current ongoing events. If we were to try to look at history, put some pieces together, go back to the 70s, go look at what happened. I think we pulled up some videos about them talking about like a similarity to that too. 79, 80, gold had an extreme rally. Very similar rally to, well, when this started 79 too, like when it started and then led to a bear market. Similar events, will that be foretold, right? There was an oil conflict. It's always about oil, damn. It's always about oil, but I'm pretty sure, like again, this is 76, 76, 77, 78, 79, going into 1980. Pretty sure in like 79. Let me see here. Let me see. June 21st. Wait, what was it? Let me see. Oh, I put the wrong thing. Damn. That is bad. February 17th, 1979. Damn. So this thing rallied still. Wait. Oh, February. Wait. Oh, that's here. Some big events took place. 79 going into 80. US came in. Boom, shit up. Shit ended. Gold ended up dumping. War was going on. Everybody was buying gold probably because the war was going on too. So history might repeat itself. Maybe like we just got like maybe we're on this candle right now. I've seen some takes on this. Where it's like some people are saying it's like similar to what happened in like 79-80 market with gold, what it did, how it rallied, the conflict around it too with oil. And gold's already been rallying, like already into that. We've been starting a war. That shit ends. It's like that could be what's, starts the bear market. However, we're still just looking at different setups. Like right now, like if you're looking at gold, it's at like 5K. It's pretty weak right now. Could be a retail. The hedge funds are dumping off their gold, getting ready to load up cash. War's breaking out. Everyone's buying gold, and then it dumps. Creates the liquidity for the highs. War starts the highs on gold. Could be a scenario. Ukraine, Russia. When was Ukraine, Russia? 22 February. Pumped up. Ukraine, Russia. The start of Ukraine, Russia. February 2022. Gold pumped up and then it went to a crash. And then the November shit happened. Was that here? One of those two. It's crazy how like here, what happened in like October, November, here. This is when Ukraine-Russia war started here, February 2022. Gold pumped, and then it dumped. And then it went, where we are now. Is it a liquidity event? Top, dumps, longer term, like in here? Maybe. Who knows? We'll find out. It depends on how long the war lasts, too. Like, if this thing goes on for a while, then it's like, yo. U.S., we gotta see if U.S. got it all under control. Trump says the U.S. got it all under control, but he's asking other countries to step in. We gotta see. We gotta see if the U.S. got this shit all under control. So that's probably why people want cash on the side, too. Get more cash. Like, look at crypto. Crypto's been dumping. Gold's already been rallying too. You gotta think like gold's already been rallying too for like months. Still could go up. Like oil's been really the thing hit the most. Oil went up, had a huge dump, and it's gone up. Maybe it gradually goes to like 120 again. The Strait of Hormuz situation is delicate geopolitical situation for oil. Trump wants the oil. He wants Iran to negotiate under his terms in terms of like the nuclear stuff, right? As you heard, that's why I played all the stuff I said. If you were listening to what that lady said, she said like Iran's looking like they don't want to do that. So yeah, like people could be like the reason people like you might see gold not ripping up like we've expected it to, like we've seen in most events. Most times we get a situation like this, what have we seen gold usually do? Just fucking start rallying, right? Most times, right? If we look back, especially even the last year alone, since the start of 2025. But gold's already premium prices. War starting. It's like there's a lot of money like think about it, there's a lot of store of value already in here. People have that cash, that's store of value. They might want to keep it on the side in case there's a market crash on other things like stocks, other assets, other indexes, other things that could crash in the midst of a war, right? Like he said, like that guy said, not geopolitical tension. He said, like in the midst of a war, right? So it makes sense with the price action now that we see gold doing, right? It's down, up, down, up. It's more down, it's weaker. Buys aren't sticking so much. Like you get good buy entries and they go for a bit. They might give you little confirmations. It's getting more sells, right? Until you really get that like strong shift out of price like this, like a strong, really strong market coming in, it's like hard to say like when those reversals will come. So it's like looking for like pullbacks to even that green zone. See if we look at gold right now, it could try to pull back to like here and then go for like continuations, right? If we're gonna see like weaker conditions still, pull back to like that area. Could pull back there first. Like right now it's testing 5K, like a very psychological level. So I think like if you're looking for buys, because last week taught me like I caught some buy entries, but they would go into profit like 80, 100 pips or even like 150 pips or some, and then the market would just go down. So it's like if you get any buy entries, like scalp them, maybe quicker moves. You're catching buys, like if you're taking day trades on buys, like maybe scalp them. Sells, wait for like bigger pullbacks to go with the trend. But yeah, like 5,000, that's a psychological level. We could make, like I sent a trade to all of you guys that are plugged in, right? Telegram, Discord, whatnot. And I was literally using pretty much around the $5,000 zone here. You can see 5,003, 4,998 area, so just around 5K. What had some time to enter too. It went down like full zone, held like literally full zone. $5 zone, 50 pips zone. Right now, 50 pips. Back in the day, we used to use 50 pips as like we used to use 50 to 100 pips as like a swing trading stop loss. Now, like 50 pips is moving not a lot, so I don't put a full entry at like one price. I'll enter slowly as price is in like a good area, a good zone. But you got to use like there's a strategy I teach. Especially if you're inside the inner circle, you probably know it, like using whole numbers, right? Talk about whole numbers all the time on these streams, right? Like $5,000, that's a whole number right there. If you're inside the inner circle, I teach a lot about this stuff. There's a lot of videos on it, like a lot of recorded sessions on it. Even here on YouTube, I've talked about it time and time again over all the streams I've done. $5,000 level. Psychological level, whole number. Now, when you look at gold, it had like a nice little, like it had some, it wasn't the first time at 5K. Like when you're looking at 5K, there's like that first time it's coming to it. It actually goes below 5K. It's not the first time it's touching 5K. I caught the trade here, right? Just ran up. Like this thing was a solid move. So like market's coming down to $5,000, a psychological level, maybe a price you want to buy at, right? Price you have like maybe an intention at buying at. Right? We talk a lot about the whole numbers, but I didn't buy it right when price hit that. Right? Price came back above 5K. You have this low here. And you can see even this high to the left. Then you have even this low that gets made. You have that high getting taken out. Now, I sent this trade to everyone. I usually don't send trades in the public chat. Like I have a public Telegram, a public Discord. If you guys are plugged in. Usually I don't send trades to the public chat. but I did because like the last one I sent, I'm pretty sure lost. So it was like I think the last trade I sent lost, if I'm not mistaken. Like last week, as there was a trade I sent that lost. Or like a zone. I think it was just in Telegram. But you can see here like nice shift up in price. And it's like, okay, market comes back to 5K, it goes above it. Even here you have a high there. So really looking to see like that level getting tested. Not the first time it tests it, not the first time right when it's coming to it. It goes below it, comes back above it. Different time frames show like different candlestick behavior. Maybe confirmations. The 4-hour was nice around the time of the trade because it was at the time of the trade, the 4-hour just looked like this, right? It was just this green candle going on to like the time of the trade. So when you look at that, it's like, okay, we got a nice like hammer, pin bar, candlestick formation here. Whoops. This is like a hammer. So at the time, going to the time of the trade, 4-hour looked good too, as you can see here. There's some good videos on my YouTube channel about candlesticks, candlestick patterns. I think I posted like a good one recently. Like, watch this video. Yeah, this speculation. I've been talking about this. Last couple streams I've mentioned this. It's been a topic. The last stream I did was fire. Like the knowledge and information I went over on last stream was fire. What was it called? Crypto bottom? Bitcoin bottom? I talked about this 2 days ago. And even some streams before that throughout the week that I've streamed. 2 days ago I did a stream called it Bitcoin bottom. So that speculation could be like if you saw what I posted here not that long ago here. When was that? Yesterday, 5 o'clock in the morning. So we were just talking about this moments ago. Could be speculation, but I don't think so because like gold usually runs first and then Bitcoin chases gold usually afterwards. Like if you kind of study the symmetry between them, it can be lagged. Obviously, when you look back, it could be like, you could have like gold going up like it's been. And the time gold started going up, Bitcoin dropping. And the time gold started going up. So it's like when gold really starts going down, right? And Bitcoin can go down gold can go down first and Bitcoin can go down too. But gold can go down first and then eventually it's like Bitcoin will go up. I mean, because there's a huge difference in like performance with gold chart, like how gold moved over the years, even in months this year. And considering the size difference of market cap, size difference there. So yeah, like speculation, but no, if you go study, like there's been times where where gold will start like creating a peak, where gold will start going down, and not that Bitcoin goes up immediately, but the more gold goes down, the slowly it builds up that more of that cash flow, cash liquidity into Bitcoin. I'll have to talk about it more. Like I went over some stuff. Like we'll do another session like this and go over it again with some more detail. But speculation, I wouldn't say so, because like look at. I mean, because when it comes down to like moving, like I guess like Bitcoin is very transferable, quick, boom. Some of these things might take longer to settle into cash even. But even just performance like stocks, gold, silver. Literally since start of the war. Could be speculation. However, like not that long ago, Eric Trump said a gold to Bitcoin rotation is underway. Eric Trump says capital is shifting from gold into Bitcoin, calling BTC the greatest ever asset. He sees this. Imagine they do this time and time again. Every 4 or 5 year cycle, they pump gold. They could pump gold to 20K by doing this. If they did this for like 20 years, they could end up pumping gold to like 20,000 or more. Imagine they like cycle flow into gold, cycle that out, throw it into Bitcoin, like repeat, rinse and repeat. Who knows? But imagine that'll be like let's just let's hope that's the way things are going, man. So yeah, he sees this move accelerating as institutions adopt Bitcoin, and storing and securing and transporting gold becomes increasingly insufficient. See what I just said about how Bitcoin is more transferable than some of these other things traditionally. That might take more time to even load off, times of things, expirations. I wouldn't think so, because I've been taught like this is what people like for months. When Bitcoin was up here, people were saying soon they're gonna move the gold into Bitcoin. But I remember several sessions, many times when we were in these higher prices, where when Bitcoin started dropping, I started saying, well, if they're gonna put the gold money into Bitcoin, wouldn't they want Bitcoin at a cheaper price? So once Bitcoin started to drop, it started making sense to me that it's like, okay, they're not just going to rotate gold into Bitcoin right away. It's not going to happen like that instantly. But when they do it, they would want Bitcoin at a cheaper price when starting to do something like that. Through this 2026 to like the last quarter of the year is probably going to be that phase where it's maybe that phase where it's speculation, but I think going into the rest of 2026 until like the last quarter of the year, that's what's kind of going to be happening. Even if Bitcoin goes down again, right? If Bitcoin drops, Bitcoin probably wouldn't drop Bitcoin will probably drop harder than gold, right? If both go down, gold could go down, right? Gold could go down. Bitcoin would drop probably harder. Let's say they both go down. Bitcoin would drop harder in terms of like that percentage, that volatility, right? So even if gold drops, Bitcoin drops, that's an interesting correlation there, because Bitcoin's going to be dropping to a cheaper price. Gold selling off means people are going to be reserving more to cash, right? More cash to buy things. Maybe we hold 5K. Like you can see, there's been like accumulation building up around 5K. There is like higher up, a big zone. Like I called out a trade, already hit take profit. So it's just like I'll wait for the next clear signal to send this week. I already sent out one signal. Not gonna go crazy this week because market's been like dumping. So just gonna try to be in alignment with a couple like maybe just quality over quantity. There's the buys I caught last week. I caught some buys last week, but they would react for like a 80 pips, 50 pips, and that's not like nothing right now. So I just go one setup at a time. Not gonna call it another signal right now. Like just called it a signal hours ago. Hit full take profit. That was a crazy move. Like you could have already been in and out of that and secured the bag. So I'm gonna wait for the next setup to probably call out maybe tomorrow, maybe in the morning, depending on where we are. New York session. Like I said, $5,000 right now. We're holding that a little bit. We could try, like you could see there was a little bit of a liquidity grab underneath 5K. So yeah, psychological level, does it hold? It is for like the short term. It already held for like a good enough trade, like a good trade. So yeah, like that area could hold potentially, but if we go, yeah, we're just like kind of accumulating, paused at this area. It looks like we could try to go for like a pullback to like up in here. Like it looks like this is maybe the next zone. It almost came there. Like market could try to pull back to like that area. 5K holds. If $5,000 level like holds, could try to pull up to like this area. You could see previous support there, potential like rejection there. Uh, 5K, that's the level I was looking at. Simple trade, nothing crazy. I broke it down already, but sometimes it's not just about buying at price, like right when it hits the price. You could see there was some action around this level. It looks like accumulation right here. Like it looks more like an accumulation right now. Like it's trying to do a pullback. Mind you, gold has been dropping. Just hit a psychological level. So like see what happened here. We're bound to get like a bigger move. Like I already kind of tried. Like this candle was just pumping up. You could see when you get these dumps, you do get like some recovery, pullback, continuation, right? Those are like the continuations that the market makes. Like there's one here, one here. So like makes sense to like get some pullback recovery. Are we at the bottom of a reversal? Like this has moved in some waves down. There has been multiple waves down in price, right? There's been waves down, lower lows, right? You have the lower low, lower low, lower low. So for potential for reversal, yes, because this has been in like multiple waves down. It's already made a good enough waves down. Could be worth looking, even see if there's a reversal, but you could see like on these stronger drops down, when you make like a lower low, you're bound to get like a pullback. So you get like a pullback here and then it keeps going. Here, same thing, you get like some pullback, some recovery, and then market keeps dropping. So like right now it's in that similar spot where it's like you're at a lower low, you know, in structure. So it's like when you're looking at this, and remember I'm breaking down still, like I'm still kind of breaking down the trade in a way. Like if you think about it, it's understanding like kind of, okay, we're in a spot where it's like buyers could step in, probably get some pullbacks, recovery. We just made a lower low in price. Like might be harder to get some sells right at this price. Like it's better to wait for pullbacks if you're looking for this. If you're looking for sells in a case like this where market has just made a lower low in price, might be not, it wouldn't be as like it's not as efficient, I would say. One moment. Order before this place closes. So yeah, we're at a lower low in price. That's one thing to understand about like market structure. You can see this whole time it's been dropping down. There's been buys and sells. There's been the buys. Those buys have led to like continuation setups. There would have been like a good sell here. Good sell here. So now market came to a lower low, right? In structure, when you're looking at structure, that's one thing to understand about the market structure. You know, if you're in a downtrend, and you're looking for sells, it's not like when you're at a lower low and you're here, it's like not a probable spot to be saying, okay, I'm gonna be selling the market here. You're better off waiting for the market to give you like maybe a bigger pullback, a sharp pullback, a pump. Because even like in a market that's falling, right? Like there could be some quick recoveries, quick rebounds for like an obvious pullback. And that's kind of like what that trade setup was. You know, market made a lower low. It's at $5,000. So in terms of structure, it's in a place where like the market structure is in a place where it's like, okay, it could have like a rebound, a bounce up in price. And again, $5,000 level being tested. So like that's one thing with structure. It's like where it is in structure. It's like higher highs can help for sells. You know, if the market's making a higher high in a certain structure, even if it's going up, you make a certain higher high at the right structure point. Like maybe we can find like more of an uptrend on 4 hour, like these going up. It's not like the best sells, right? There's a couple, right? Like taking sells would have been like, all right. Obviously, it would have been better market to be looking for buys. But it's like, you know, when you get to those points of higher high, well, a higher high was just made. Okay, I got to be watching out. I shouldn't be looking for buys up here. Maybe more looking for sells or just staying out of the market if you're looking for buys. Like if you're in a market that's going up and you're not looking for sells in this, you see higher high made, it's like, okay, maybe I should stay out of the sells. Like be like here you make a lower low, not the like here you're making a lower low. Or sorry, I was saying maybe I should stay out of the buys. Here you're making a lower low, not the best place to say, oh, let me just sell real quick. Maybe like being low in structure. But yeah, gold March, it's one of those weaker March months for gold that's being seen in terms of seasonality. 5K, it's been just kind of like bouncing around $5,000. Is it going to hold? Maybe the 4 hour could still hold. But gold does seem like dollar's really strong right now. People putting money into USD here. Really, really strong dollar at the moment. It's like 5K might just be one of those levels that has a solid reaction like it did, and that's it. Like it doesn't have to be looked at trying to hold forever. Gold could try to break if we break under 5K. Like if we break solid underneath it, then it's like potentially more continuations. There's a lot of room in here, yeah. A lot of room in it for, yeah. A lot of room in like here. Yeah, 5K doesn't hold. It could try to get underneath. For like sell setup, was trying to see if we could like pull back to this area, right? So it's like, yeah, like if 5K holds, you potentially could go up to that area. That's potentially a big bullish move. Me, like my strategy, like I'll just look. I don't look for sells when the market's at like a lower low. I'd have to look for like something continuation. You know, this is rejecting this area here on like the 1 hour and 30 minute. For me, it would be like sells would be like if we break underneath 5K, potentially like continuation, go down. Could be a level that flips, like resistance could get made there for an entry point underneath 5K. We have FOMC this week though, guys. So first FOMC since all of this conflict. So market's definitely going to be waiting to hear what Jerome Powell has to say and seeing how the FOMC comes out this week. But yeah, big week with the news. I'm going to keep it a chill week. Might send like 3 trades this week. I've sent 1 already. So I'm going to keep it chill this week. I'm going to be streaming a lot at different times, like London session now, Tokyo session, and New York session. I'm going to be streaming different times this week. So I'll plug in this week. But we'll see. It might be a good week since we have all the FOMC this week. FOMC statement coming out. Could be a good week to just keep it conservative. Not too many trades until FOMC's done. Like, good example, like if you catch like a trade like I did like this, it's good. Like if you catch 1-2 trades like this before FOMC, puts you in a good position. You don't need to always trade FOMC. FOMC is a good event to just like sit, watch, chill for a bit, see how it goes. Wait till the night, or wait till the day's over. Wait till the afternoon's over. Wait till nighttime, or even wait going into the next like market day. If you're not familiar with news, like and just posted a new YouTube video up, by the way, check it out. If you're not familiar with news, let's go to popular here. Boom, boom, boom. All right, guys. So to prepare yourself, maybe for FOMC this week, and there's a lot of news this week, even just on other currencies. Check out these 2 videos on my YouTube channel right here. Posted 1 year ago, 21K views. News strategy video. Learn how to trade the news, Forex news trading strategy. Watch that video. When you're done watching that video, watch this one here. Once you guys watched it, comment on the video so I can see who watched it. Comment on the video. When you guys are done watching it, like it, comment it. I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna go look in the morning and see. I'm gonna go see if anyone watched it. So I would watch that to kind of prepare yourself or find some things, understand like what FOMC can do, how the news tends to react. You know, maybe even some psychology, how to approach the news, because you don't need to trade the news so aggressively. You can wait till the day's over. You can wait till the nighttime. You can wait till the next day. You could wait 30 minutes when you're watching the news. So I go over a lot of good detailed information in those 2 videos on how to trade the news, how to approach it, mindset to have, some psychology, even strategy within the charts on how you can catch entries during the news while it's happening. There's this common strategy that tends to happen on the news because news is like fake out, a lot of fake outs, a lot of traps on the news. Check out those videos. They're the most popular videos. If you go on the channel, popular, check them out. Like I said, comment once you guys have checked those videos out, so I know. You guys watch them. Got my eyes on y'all. All right? Yeah, 75. If 5K doesn't hold, yeah, I see it. There's a lot of gap down here, a lot of window, a lot of open room down here. So if it breaks 5K, it will trade lower, probably like 75. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, let the market, if you're looking for buys, like let the market really set up. Last week there was a couple good signals to buy gold at here and here, like this candlestick. You can see this candlestick. This is a rejection candlestick. And, yo, can everybody let me know if you guys shall be able to type in the chats and stuff. I'm upgrading the Discord, like organizing the Discord more. Kicking out those bots. We're gonna have no more bots in the Discord. No more scammers. No more spammers. No more spammers. No more bots in the Discord. All right. None of them in there now. None of them in there now. Oh yeah, look at this. See, what's this? Iran war. I think I saw this. Here we are, 1979 versus 2006, lads. Here we are. That'll give us our Bitcoin bull market loading. Bitcoin bull market loading, 2027 to 2028 loading, like. I got my nutsack on it. Yep. Yeah, no more bots in the Discord. Got it all. Got I organized things. You guys might have seen the Discord. I organized some sections. I'm working on organizing it more before we launch Inner Circle 2.0. So, you know, over the next 30 days, I'm going to be just organizing stuff. You might see some changes in the Telegram, this Discord and stuff. Little tweaks, little changes and stuff there. Just over the next 30 days. I'm going to be active streaming still. But when we launch Inner Circle 2.0, I'm going to be very, very active inside of the Inner Circle. I've been streaming a lot for the public. Gonna be sending a couple signals out to the public here and there. But yeah, Inner Circle 2.0 is launching in April. We're gonna be doing the countdown soon. You guys are gonna be seeing flyers go out, a lot of promotional stuff going out. I'm gonna be dropping pretty much a countdown very, very soon, like within the next week. I think the next couple of days. So gonna be starting the launch within the next couple of days for Inner Circle 2.0. It's going to be sick. Full on website coming, loading. So yeah, just organizing a lot of stuff right now. You might see some changes in the Discord. Try to verify, stay active in there for me so I can make sure everything's working. Like type in the chats. Maybe I had some bots in there, some stuff in there that does some stuff for me too to keep things active. But you might have seen some changes. You might see a few more. Might add some things, change some things around. There's still some things I got to work on. But yeah, type in the chats in there, like stay active in there, do some reactions, stay active in the chat so I know everything's working and good when you see me doing these updates. Even if you guys could do that now, like, because I noticed I had something wrong at first that not everyone could type in the chats, but I think everybody should be able to now. But yeah, I've just been tweaking some things around. Inner Circle 2.0 is loading. Going to be starting the launch this week. Going to be doing a countdown for the launch. Been working on a lot of stuff. It's going to be dope. Up until like from now until April 15th, May 1st. Going to be working on a lot of stuff here. Last week you had like some couple strong signals, like here and here, rejection candles. If you go in the Discord, you go under blueprints, there's some topics on this, some discussion on like rejection candles, price rejection on gold. Looks like right now gold is trying to go down. 4 hours flipping bearish. Yeah, like the 4 hours flipping bearish. So like I wouldn't go for the trade again. Like all targets were hit. We gotta move. Like I'll wait till I see another signal that's there in real time, like in action. Like right now, it's like okay, like 5K could hold, maybe 5K holds. You'd pretty much just be trading like okay, thinking like if you're gonna see if this buys, you'd be trying to see if this zone holds 5K. If it doesn't, it could easily just dump down. So like the trade I sent earlier, it's like in that moment, it was like there's more of a signal kind of like in that moment, like okay, gold already went below 5K, reclaimed it, right? You had the low, so there was like some manipulation there, like a liquidity grab dump, price pumps up, takes out the high. You have a higher low here form, and you have this high here. So you get like a shift up. So it's like back above 5K. So it's still like testing 5K. In that time, the 4 hour was looking really clean. Like in that time, the 4 hour was like, okay, still fresh, like rejection candle on the 4 hour. Next candle could give like some bullish movement. So like now it's like when you look at it, like, yeah, like, so I wouldn't go for that same trade twice. Like I would just chill. Like I'm going to wait till I find another signal like that this week. Maybe tomorrow. Mind you, we do have FOMC this week, so it could be like a really spicy week with the market. It'd be good if you can find, like, I already found one trade. I sent you guys, like, I got you guys walking this week, all right? If you are up, if you're active, if you're active in the Telegram, you're keeping an eye on things, Discord. I do send my trade setups in there from time to time. So, if you're active, saw that, I got you guys walking already. I got you guys crawling. I know you guys are trying to fly and run and jump, jog. All right. So if before FOMC you can get yourself in a 1-2 trade, like you don't have to over trade the week on FOMC. You can verify if you want to. I think if you want to verify, there is a verify section. I think you have to maybe this thing, right? $140 people verified themselves. I think someone just messaged me on how to verify. You have to go here. There's like a thing here, verify yourself. I think maybe rejoin the server. Maybe, actually, if you're in the inner circle, I might kick you out, actually. I don't know. I did this. This should verify accounts. Like, if you look at some people's chats, like, some people have, like, green names now, I noticed. See what you guys are saying. We got them, but yeah, we got the bots out. There should be no more bots coming to the account. Like no bots should be messaging and spamming anymore. Post your results. If you have any results, post them in here. See, Muhammad got a green name. Muhammad verified himself. Maybe he just joined. I don't know. See some people's names. I've been noticing some names change. There's a verify section. I think like if you click that or that, one of those two, it should verify. But yeah, I've just been switching some things up just so we can keep the bots out, get the scammers out, the spammers out. That's been super annoying this year. It's been like a weekly thing or like an everyday thing pretty much, to be honest, every other day, if not. So yeah, organize that. You'll see some changes soon. But get ready for 2.0. I got some big things coming. Just got a good trade on gold. Gonna look for another big trade. I got out, like gold hit full take profit, guys. Like targets were fully hit. So I'm not necessarily looking for the same signal again. It was a pretty decent trade. I'm trying to look for another big trade this week. So pay attention this week. Gonna be looking for another signal throughout the week. Right now, I'm not going to take the same trade again. Like, we don't have to try to rob the same bank twice. Like, if you do, like, maybe go light risk. It does look like it could try to break 5K and go underneath. That is an option. There's not, like, another setup I'm looking at right now. If it pulls back, Maybe that's the setup waiting for, that sell setup, if it does do like a nice pullback. For now, just chilling. Like, look at GU. Yeah, GU looks like it's going down. EU looks like it's going down. Yeah, like those are going down. What's AU doing? AU and gold generally looks kind of moves and alike as AUD. Like, yeah, like right now, like if you're looking at gold, all you really have is like that 5K level. You could maybe get some scalping short term. It's like right now it's London, so how you look at it is like, okay, does it hold 5K in London? You could maybe try to go for a small risk, light, or if there's like a zone. Like I like to use zones, so I don't like putting a full trade at one price. I like to anticipate that the market could go a bit below my price, below my area. So maybe get some scalping reactions around 5K, right? It does look a bit like accumulation here in the market. Like you have a zone here that is just like holding for gold here at 5K and a little bit below 5K. So if the 4-hour flips, it's like that. If the 4-hour just kind of stays here, that could flip into a buy, yes. Like it hit 5K, like the zone, I called out the trade over here, right? Like when gold was on this candle, this red candle right here. So it was this red candle. That's when I started calling out the buy. And price bumped up. And then it came almost right back to the entry zone again. Like, so it's like, we caught the move. You can see 5K reacting again. Like you might get some scalping reactions off of it. Four hour, if the 4-hour flips significantly enough, right? But that's all I'm really seeing right now. But yeah, gonna be looking for the next trade on gold. Like that hit all targets. Like it hit full target, and it was a good target. I think it reversed. It went up like 50 more pips, and then it dumped. So that was a good move. I want to wait for the next setup. Trying to catch another big trade this week on gold. Trying to have a big week. Made some good profit on this trade. And waiting for the next setup. Even if it takes like a day or even if it takes two. Remember, it's FOMC week. Still going to be streaming a lot throughout the week. So make sure you guys plug into the streams. If I have a setup, I'll go over it on the streams. But yeah, you're going to see me starting the countdown this week for Inner Circle. All right, Inner Circle 2.0, new website's launching. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be legendary. Where do you see news? When is the news? News is here. So you got news here. This is forexfactory.com. So we can see today's Monday. And there's different news events that are scheduled for different currencies. So like the major news there's news every day, but the major news that's happening this week is called the FOMC news. It's called the FOMC. That's when the U.S. talks about their interest rates. U.S. Federal Reserve. So it's a day a lot of traders look at. Like the global market likes to hear what's said on that day. It's not always the most edge, I guess, like when you talk about the market and your edge, like having an edge over the market environment, it's not always the environment with the right edge all the time for every trader. All right, so if you're not familiar with news, go check out these videos, learn how to trade the news. Smash the like button before we get off. I'm going to wrap it up for the night. And I'm going to be on later in New York session and seeing what gold's doing, seeing if there's any setups, scanning the market. First setup I found was here, and like I said, just going to be taking it one day at a time, looking for a couple setups this week. And yeah, we'll see what the market has in store later today. It's either 5K holds, but I don't think I'm going to look for a new signal London, guys. The next signal will probably come tomorrow. Just want to go over some analysis right now. Someone even said in the chat like 49.75. Like right now, it would be better if the market, it would be better to see the market go down and then recover again before even like jumping back in. It would be better to honestly see this like come down but flip bullish, like, you know, like give more confirmation. Right now the candle looks super bearish on the 4 hour. Top wick, made a top wick here on the 4 hour, you can see. So like it would be better to see this, like if I was like, I could say yeah maybe 5k holds, but no, I'd rather like if it went down and then like reclaimed, made like another wick or like another one of these candles, or like more of a rejection candle, that would be better to be like, okay, 5k might hold again. So it's not even about like just buying off of it. Like this could dump down and come back, reclaim the zone, and then be like a better level to look at again. So stay posted this week. Turn your notifications on the channel. Subscribe if you're new. But yo, we're gonna wrap it up. Dollar is pumping up right now too. Dollar is looking bullish to start the week off too. I don't have to buy at 5k right now. I could watch 5k and see how like the 4 hour trades around here. Like really I'd want like another solid rejection candle to come in, or again like market wicking down, pulling back up, closing more bullish. Then I could look at like, okay, is 5k maybe gonna hold again? But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up for the evening here. That's really it, or the morning here really, and I'll see everybody next stream. It does look like accumulation happening around 5k. Like, yeah, it does look like market is like accumulating around that area. Yeah, see, it's already looking like it's trying to come down to 49.80. Yeah, like 49.85, 49.70. It looks like it's already trying to come down a bit. It's not like you have to just buy at 5k. 5k could maybe hold later on today. I don't see like another, I don't see a sell setup right here though. Right now it's like, I'd rather just watch the market on the 4 hours, see how it trades for a bit. I already found a trade setup tonight, so don't have to look for the next trade immediately. I'll see everybody next stream. Hopefully you guys got that trade that I sent out earlier. That was a great trade. Literally over like 250 pips, like, well, no, like 300 pip trade. I was like, that was over 300 pips on the zone I called out. So good move there. I'm out though. I'm going to wrap it up. That's it for me. I'll see everybody on next session. Make sure you guys plug in all week. Don't want to miss this week. It's going to be a big week in the market.